Hi, and welcome back to our Okinawan Kempo YouTube channel featuring some techniques of Kiyojute Ryu. Couple of prefatory remarks. Number one, I am sorry we've been away for so long. I am a public school guy. I'm not sure if we've ever talked about that. But it's May, and May is hell. We have had all kinds of graduations and award ceremonies, and it's been great, and God bless the class of 2025. I always love this time of year, but it is exhausting. So I've been doing number one job Bob stuff, and now we're back in the swing. Number two, I want to talk about Jujutsu. We are in the midst of a series of taking our 10 martial principles and applying them against common attacks, roundhouse, lunge punch, and front kick, to sort of showcase how the different arts could respond to those very normal attacks. I started martial arts when I was 11 years old, more than 30 years ago. And I started, as many people do in the eastern United States, in a Wado-ryu karate school. So the Hironori Otsuka style through the Cecil T. Patterson line here in Tennessee. We were taught that Wado-ryu was a blend of Shotokan, the Japanese karate of Funakoshi Gichin, and Shindo Yoshinryu Jujutsu, which the founder of Wado was the grandmaster of sometime in his 30s. The thing is that even though I loved my school and I learned a lot and it was a great place to be, there wasn't a lot of Jujutsu. In fact, if you were to watch us at the average tournament on a weekend, we looked just like everybody else. As I got deeper into that system and learned some of the more advanced forms and some of the two-man sets, there were some wrist locks, there may be a choke here or there, maybe a stylized throw, and I loved that stuff, and it really whet my appetite. I got into the books of Nobuyoshi Higashi, who was a longtime professor at State University of New York at Stony Brook. His Kokushiru Jujutsu and Tomiki Aikido, which is very much related to Daito-ryu, I thought was great stuff. And that pathway took me to George Kirby. And I love George. George was a school teacher too. And I corresponded with him and studied his sort of Seki-ryu Jujutsu. And I say all that to say, I love Jujutsu. When I came to Kiyojute Ryu and saw the Soke's curriculum, it had everything in it that I knew from a decade of training and so much more. So this one is near and dear to me. Traditional Japanese Jujutsu, combat Jujutsu, self-defense Jujutsu. You're on your feet and the other guy is on the ground. And that's good self-defense. So to get started, we are going to look at the roundhouse punch. I'm going to talk you through it slowly first. I'm going to block the roundhouse and fire sort of an uppercut into his solar plexus. That shapes him and rounds him, which gives me a good place to put myself for an Ippoin Sewinage, tossing him to the ground. I'm going to move him just a little for the camera. I'm going to step over, kneel down right behind his head, and get him in a figure 4 arm lock. This is Ude Garame. And then by turning to my left, it is very easy to separate his shoulder. And again, this is a great place. I have all the power. He's in a rough spot. I can look around. If I needed to, I could dislocate this and get up and deal with the next guy in line. Let's do that one more time, please. All right. Next, let's look at a lunge punch. And again, we'll talk through it sort of slowly first. He's going to throw the high lunge. I'm going to slip it, blocking with a small parry and delivering a tate-ken right here into the ribs. I'm going to enter in and get him in a yoko hadaka jime, choking against his neck. From there, I'm going to step behind him, pick him up, and drop him to the earth in sort of a Ushiro Goshi, drop down to the ground and choke him here. All right, let's do that again. Because this is our internet channel, we're not going to talk about all the possibilities of a movement like that, but there are some really terrible things you can do to a person, depending on how you time the drop and the clamp, and let's just leave it at that for the time being. Choke. And choke. Finally, let's talk about a front kick. I love saying the name of this throw. It's Uchikuchiki Taoshi, or inside the dead tree drops. The part of the tree will be played by my beautiful assistant. So he's going to throw a front kick, which I'm going to scoop and immediately attain me into the jaw. I'm going to grab him because I love him, because he's my student, to where he doesn't splatter as I reap his inside leg and drop him hard on the back of his head. From there, I'm going to ride his leg. I'm going to tread on a nerve right here above his knee, which I'm not pressing very hard. Then I'm going to do a heel pick. I take his toes against my body and have his heel just barely hooked by my forearm. I can then apply the whole force of my body twisting to take that ankle joint apart. It's a terrible, ugly dislocation. Would have to be surgically repaired because of all the ripped stuff in the ankle joint. Last time. Thank you. You look marvelous. You look good. We hope that you will like and subscribe. Ring the bell to receive notifications. Above all, we want to hear from you guys. Things that you like, things that you don't, suggestions for what to do next. And in the meantime, we'll continue this series we're in, looking at principle-based responses to these 3 common attacks. Thanks.